the very first meeting that we had. It was my wife and me and 2 young adults. And Christine, my older daughter, she was like 7 months old, and she was running around little chairs. And we had our very first meeting in that way.
I was one of the first college students here. So we came and there were like 8 kids, 8 people total. And I was kind of horrified that we were going to this church. But the reason we stayed was honestly ultimately because of Pastor Steve and Hannah.
I just remember being here as a kid and just feeling like Living Hope was a second home to me, and just feeling like everyone was family.
So back then, Friday night Bible study was a big deal for our college ministry. We were such a tight-knit group of collegians. People would make fun of us and call us like Living Hope Community Cult.
On Sundays we had church, we had worship and a Bible study, and then practically the whole church would come to our small 2-bedroom apartment in Chino Hills.
As college students, a lot of times we would get bored and have no place to hang out, so we would just randomly show up to Pastor Steve and Hannah's house at all hours of the day or night.
And they would come and they would eat our food. We would play games,
play cards, eat everything out of the refrigerator and freezer.
My wife and I would be tired, so we'd go into our room and people would stay in our living room and just play and take things from our refrigerator and cook for themselves.
And then leave. And as an adult, I'm horrified that we did that. But at the time, if you think about it, it's just a testament to how open and how much of a family feeling they wanted to create. They didn't make us ever feel like it was like a burden or whatnot. They welcomed us every single time.
So we did church and we were just friends, and and people grew in love with one another and with the Lord.
As the church grew, God bless the church in not only numbers, but in terms of the stability, the type of people, the leadership, the pastoral staff. It was just a really nice, healthy time of growth.
It took us 7 years to average over 100 adults. And so for the first 7 years of our existence, our meetings was less than what our college ministry is right now on a Friday night.
I knew everyone from my parents' friends to young adults to college to even children my own age. And that's just such a blessing, being able to know and grow in such a close community.
So when we began, we didn't have a lot. I remember when our first college students started coming, I asked, why are you here when we don't even have a college ministry? I remember people coming when we didn't have air conditioning. We didn't have air conditioning for the first however many years in existence. And during the summer, I would still wear my suit, and it was really hot. And it would make people feel uncomfortable.
I think it's amazing that we have air conditioning. And it's amazing that we do not have to set up and take down our praise equipment every single Sunday. We had to literally roll up every cable and every microphone and pack it into boxes.
I remember being part of the process of the leadership with the pastoral staff, where we thought, hey, listen, we need to really think about actually moving to a more permanent, larger space. As usual, we took a congregational vote, and it was unanimous to move forward in step of faith.
As one of the first kids in ministries, then we're really small. So what I'm thankful for when I look back is just to see how the kids at Living Hope today have somewhere to go, and just leaders around community. Because when you're a kid and you're a teenager, you look around and you go to church and you're like, where are my friends? Do I have friends here?
Do you want to go in the middle?
Sure. Wait. Do you want us to be in the video?
Yeah. So watch. Scoot over. Is it recording?
Now when I walk through church and I see the different groups, it's just like the kids they have like a home here, you know? They have the little piece of home, and it's just amazing to think about where it started, where it is now, and how God is just bringing more helpful hands and helpful hearts into those groups, because I think it makes a difference in the kids' lives. It made a difference in my life.
I really love KKC Chapel. It's fun, and I like everything about it.
You know, for me, I'm so thankful when we came, because we've been away for like 8 years in Chicago and came back, and I was so really awestruck by God's faithfulness to this church.
It's been a blessing to see God grow Living Hope through His consistency and His faithfulness.
Growing up in the church, I've loved having some kind of family, and church has always been my second family in a sense, and I've grown up with all these people, and I've built great relationships with them.
So I think for me, it's, it's been so many years now that seeing the church grow from where it was when we started, 20, 30 some odd people, and now it's hundreds and hundreds of people. Just seeing God's faithfulness throughout that process, and to see where we're at now and see where this church can be as we go forward, that's, I think, pretty amazing to me.
But coming back as a college student, coming back now, Living Hope is huge. And every Friday I go to college group, there are new people. Like, I don't even know everyone in the college group, let alone the entire church. So I just think that the amount that Living Hope has grown over the past couple of years is just really amazing. And it's really a blessing that people are just wanting to come to this church and that they love it and they want to be members and just invest into this church. And so that's also like a reason why I wanted to come back, is just because if people are coming to this church, that means it's a good church.
I've been at Living Hope since 2001.
I've been coming to Living Hope since 2001 with my family.
I was born into this church in 1999.
And I've been coming to Living Hope since 1998.
I've been coming to Living Hope since 1995.
I've been attending this church since 1993.
I've been at this church since 1993.
And it's a church to call home.
And it's been a church to call home.
And it's a church to call home.
It's been a church to call home.
And it's been a church to call home.
And it has been a church to call home.
And it is the church that my family and I call home.